Welcome to the Diamond Mine Podcast with Nate and Lenny, where we listen to all 92 Diamond albums certified by Billboard. Today's album is
Boston by Boston.
But before anything else, here's our news segment.
And welcome back to your music news. Kesha announces a new paranormal series called Conjuring Kesha. Can't wait for that. Mr. Nico McBrain of Iron Maiden had his 70th birthday. Nate.
Isn't this the most pleasant noise? Continue.
What are you doing?
Just listening to the music news.
Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. Bon Jovi founding member Alec John Such passed away at the age of 70.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Ian Hunter, who went by the stage name Ian Hunter Patterson.
Why?
Celebrated his 83rd birthday.
Hey, shout out to you. Who? Patterson? Hunter Patterson?
Yeah, buddy. Rolling Stone has come out with the 200 greatest hip-hop albums of all time. And there's a lot of debate going on because I can't remember who it was. I can't remember if it was Nicki Minaj or Megan Thee Stallion.
It was Cardi B.
Yes, Cardi B was placed higher than a lot of other hip-hop artists that should not have been under her album. So yeah, go check out that list, see what your opinions are. I don't care about that. Oh, Foo Fighters and the Hawkins family present a Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. There is one at Wembley Stadium in the UK, September 3rd, and there's one at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California, September 27th. Tickets are on sale by the time you see this.
Turn up.
Kanye West turned 45.
Dang.
Billie Eilish debuts a new song called TV that nods to the Depp Heard trial and Roe versus Wade, and a lot of things that are going on today in our political world. The Sex Pistols' God Save the Queen could hit number one in the UK. It was reissued last week on 2 special vinyl records, launching the track into the top 5, and they also have their new
Is that their national anthem?
Imagine.
Is it?
I don't think it is. God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols?
No, but God Save the Queen. Isn't that like...
You're going to have to look that up. Because to me, that is not the same song. While he's looking that up, for the first time in the 6-decade history of the Grammys, they are adding an award to specifically honor the most prolific songwriters in the music industry, so they'll finally get their shining glory. There's been a little bit of controversy because there's a video of Paul Stanley on Kiss's last tour, and it seems that he missed the cue for his
Oh,
vocals.
no, it's definitely not.
Yeah. For his vocals, and so people think that he lip syncs along to tracks.
Oh.
Controversy. Rob Halford's new goal is to get a picture with Dolly Parton at the Rock Hall induction. He said he's not sure if he'll be allowed to do it, but he's going to figure out a way to do it. So, and Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck shared the first single from their album together. Go listen to that if you really feel so inclined. And Ozzy Osbourne is to undergo a major operation on Monday to repair his neck, and he hopes to be on the road again in the near future. Last but certainly not least, I don't think I mentioned this in the music news, but Britney Spears had a miscarriage of her child. But recently she actually married her fiancé Sam in a very, this says romantic ceremony, and apparently there were a lot of stars there, as there should be. And that's it for your music news.
And we're back, but before we get into anything else, here's our social medias. The Twitter, TDMPod, TDMPOD. The Instagram, The Diamond Mine Podcast. The YouTube, for our face, The Diamond Mine. If you look up Diamond Mine Podcast, it's us. TikTok, Diamond Mine Podcast. Like, subscribe, favorite, share, comment, whatever.
Email Nate.
Give us the specs on Boston, lady.
This album has only 8 songs, and it is 38 minutes long. It was released on August 25th, 1976, and it went a whopping 17 times platinum.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Oh, it was also recorded in a basement. And Apple mentions the phrase power pop when describing this album, which I think is a more accurate representation than just pure, like, rock music.
Yeah.
Especially after listening to it. So now, first song.
This first song is called More Than a Feeling. This is the most popular song on the album. It's pretty solid. This, for some reason, reminds me of, like, NCIS or, like, Law and Order or some show like that. I'm sure it was on that when I was little, and for some reason I, like, subconsciously have that connection. Catchy chorus. It's the king of only knowing one line of it, though, and then mumbling the rest. Just, like, more than a feeling.
Yeah, you can't... Reading the lyrics and actually listening to them is very different.
Yeah, it was really weird. Pretty much just like your standard rock song, iconic riff right before the chorus. And this one is pretty solid.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
With this song, there was no hesitation. They just jumped right into the chorus. Very catchy and a very popular song, at least by Boston. My take from it is that, people come and go, but they leave an impact, and a song reminds him of those people, specifically Marianne, who's mentioned in this song, who presented more than a feeling to him, hence the name of the song. Mm-hmm. And the climax of the song hits at around, like, 3:27-ish, with powerful vocals and some overtaking guitar notes and riffs. And it ends with the chorus, of course, the most popular part of the song, and it fades out with instrumentation.
This next song is called Peace of Mind. Definitely a very upbeat song, very generic pop rock feel. There's nothing super flavorful in this jumping out to me, and that's how I feel throughout the album. I was bopping my head and having a good time, but I wasn't fully convinced that this album should have been as high as it was placed yet, and I still never really get convinced of that. Long outro showing off their instrumental skill, though, and that is a reoccurring thing, and I do like their instrumental better than their actual vocals and songs, though. Like, when they're just sitting there jamming, I think that that's so much better than the actual chorus and verse structure, because I think it's so generic, and I think this album feels very generic and very poppy.
I do touch on that at the end. Yeah,
they have a lot of their songs will be driven by one riff. That's not a knock, I'm just saying that's their style, and I picked that up on this. So yeah, not great, not bad, honestly just kind of a mediocre song.
It's mainly one riff and then a very simplistic drum pattern.
Yes.
Peace of Mind. So this has nice harmonies with the background vocalist. Like I just said, a very simple drum beat to add some flavor, but mainly it's just to direct the rest of the band. Nice guitar riff and vocals that provide a nice rhythm and kind of like a swing for the listeners. Has a guitar solo that almost sounds like it's kind of battling with itself back and forth. Like, it almost sounds like it's two different guitars going one at a time. I liked this one better than More Than a Feeling. Not significantly, but I did like it a little bit better. And I took it as basically people are worried about what others are doing instead of, what they themselves are doing. And the storyteller here basically doesn't care about what other people are saying or doing, and they just want to live the life he just wants to live the life that he's living. And it's a solid minute-long outro. Next.
And I will add, though, that the outro on that song is not as much of them just playing and showing off their instrumental skill as it is just hammering home that riff, and I wasn't as much about that as I would be in later segments where it's just instrumental.
Yeah.
And that's what leads us to this song. Foreplay / Long Time. I was definitely enjoying Foreplay more than Long Time. Give me some 5 play, give me some 6 play, because I was really enjoying the Foreplay. It sounds like aliens in the beginning, which I guess is kind of cool because the album cover is, a UFO, which that is a dope album cover. That is an awesome album cover. And also on Apple Music, they have animated album covers, and it looks super duper cool. They come in with this big ripping guitar chords after the alien sounds. Definitely a different feel than the last one. The chords, as they're playing, he's slamming a cymbal on every single different chord. There's a nice sexy bass line driven by some organ and some distorted guitar. I enjoyed it.
We described that very differently.
What, the bass line?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I called it sexy. I enjoyed this thus far. It didn't feel generic. The opening was intense, but it falls off almost into this like nothingness, and then it goes into what is Long Time. And Long Time is a lot more of like a generic poppy rock song. They throw the vocals back and forth between the like two takes that they have, and then they'll sometimes have the ripping instrumental again. I like the chorus with the harmony in the back. It repeats it a couple times more than my liking, but this one had been one that I enjoyed a lot more than the first two.
Yeah, definitely. So, like Nate already said, killer intro with organ, lots of cymbal action, and a mean and prominent bass line that lasts for roughly 2.5 minutes.
Oh,
that was awesome.
No! It hit both rims.
Then, like Nate said, it kind of trails off, singling out the organ, but then the drums pick up with the guitar to begin the song and lead into the lyrics. The instrumental breaks between the verses and chorus, features claps and acoustic guitar, and then they're interrupted with, and it kind of brings it back to life with that pop rock sound. Like Nate said, this song is the best one so far, and except I will say that the last 40 seconds of the song probably could have been cut off.
It repeated the chorus a little bit too many times.
Definitely did. And at this point, if the album kind of continues with the trend of getting better with each song, then I don't think it would be a horrible album. Hate to break it to you, though, it doesn't. Next.
This next song is called Rock and Roll Band. This one kind of goes back to more of a poppy feel, but it has some bluesy aspects with a riff in the back that I'm really enjoying. It's just a normal rock song about being in a rock and roll band. It's definitely a step back from the depth that we had in the last song. The last song had a lot of like prog feel to it. I like the narrative though. It's fun. I didn't enjoy it as much as the last one, but this one is very easy listening, and I could listen to this one like in an outside setting. And the last one was a lot, so I don't blame them for having the next one being simplistic. Yeah.
I actually love when bands do this, where they basically talk about themselves, like being in a rock band or whatever. And I know we've ran into this before, but I cannot remember who it was. But we have had a song like this before, and the only other one I can think of is Whiplash by Metallica, where they basically say, we'll never stop, we'll never quit, because we're Metallica.
Yeah.
And they talk about, like, thrashing and stuff like that. It's really cool. Anyway. So this sounds like the most mainstream, straightforward, generic rock song, like Nate has already mentioned. Like it was from Kiss or some other band like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that this had more of the rock aspect instead of the pop. Greatly appreciated that after hearing kind of... It's not the same stuff. They did keep it interesting, but like, you know what I mean? Like, just a slightly different sound. But because this mentions being from Boston... And, they played Massachusetts and Rhode Island and stuff. I bet the song goes absolutely crazy in New England.
Oh, yeah.
I bet people
or, like, when
love
they tour and they go to,
Yes.
like, what's the Boston Stadium? I know it. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But when they go to the Boston, Celtics Arena, I bet they go crazy.
That's crazy. But they also included a fake crowd kind of towards the middle and at the very end, which I thought was an interesting, nice touch. It's pretty short, which I think is good call. Which I think is a good call because if it had been longer than what it was, it would have lost its I don't want pizzazz, but that's not really the word.
I get what you're saying.
It would have just lost that touch. Also, this is absolutely unrelated in any way, shape, or form. Can you wash soap? I saw this today, and someone was like, yeah, it was a video of someone washing their soap. Is soap not self-washing?
Well, no, because if you had a bar of soap and you dropped it in some mud, it's not going to clean that mud off itself.
Yeah, but then all you have to do is put it under water.
Yeah, so you're washing it.
Yeah, but you don't use other soap on it. It just washes itself.
Yeah, but you're washing it with itself.
Someone put like 20 bars of soap in a sink of all different like scents and stuff, which don't do that, and was like washing their soap.
Okay, that's a little silly. That's a little silly.
I just take my hand soap on my bar of soap.
Yeah, that's a little silly.
We can move on.
Anyways, this next song is called Smokin'. This one is blues AF. Feels kind of like Chuck Berry, like old school rock. I like the use of organ in their songs. Rock organ is underutilized, and it's really fun to hear somebody jam out on, which happens a lot in this song. There's like a beat switch halfway through the song where they're really showing off the organ again, and I was having fun with it because it wasn't super duper generic pop rock. They were just jamming. It felt like you were in a jam sesh, and I enjoy songs like that, i.e. all the Led Zeppelin songs I like that I've said that about. If you haven't watched those episodes, go and watch them now. I think they're a bit basic as a band, and I've thrown that word around a couple times, so I'm going to stop saying it here, but this is my final way of saying that. They're a bit basic, and I'm gonna think of that probably about the rest of these songs.
That's fair. Smokin'. Okay, you said more Chuck Berry, early's rock. I took it about 9 years later. Wait, is this 9 years later? Yeah, I think it's 9 years later with Motley Crue, Smokin' in the Boys' Room, or something similar. I think it came out in 85. This was in 76. That's 9 years, right?
That came out in 89.
89?
Yeah. So that's 13 years.
Are you sure?
It says released 1989, Theater of Pain, Motley Crue.
We're going to take a time out to look at this. Hold on.
And we're back. Sorry. Took a little break there. 85. My phone was just tripping balls. I don't even know. Oh, yep. She is sending me the screenshot. Here it is right here. There you
go. Okay. Getting back into my notes after I brought up Motley Crue. I said that it was actually kind of ironic considering that their song is called Smokin' in the Boys' Room. And this is Smokin', and they sound similar, at least to me they do.
Yes.
And haha, funny. Anyway, there's a little bit of organ action in the middle with a nice jam session that has some flavor, And I know Nate's already mentioned this, whatever. I think that sometimes instrumental sections like that, if too frequent, can be kind of like bleh, like mediocre after a while. But I think at this point, they're still keeping it relatively fresh because they're not too repetitive. But at this point, I was kind of looking at the songs, and it's only a 38-minute album, but I was feeling slightly bored, and like I was kind of going downhill, which typically doesn't hit until we're like well into albums. So that was a little disappointing, but we can move on to the next song.
One comment I'm going to make. I think it's crazy how this album somehow figured out how to drag, even though it's only 8 songs long and 38 minutes. Like how did you do that? That took some skill.
Because the songs aren't even that long either.
Facts.
The longest one was like 7.
And that was the one I enjoyed probably the most.
Yeah. Which, whatever.
Anyways, this next song is called Hitchin' a Ride. This song almost feels like beachy to me, or like a chill vibe, because they're singing all soft. I don't know how else to describe it. Doesn't feel as basic as the other ones to me. There's drumming during the chorus that I really, really liked. He had some interesting little patterns going on in there. Notice how everything I commented on, though, other than the singing softly that I made a happy comment about, was instrumental and not like the actual song structure. Mm-hmm. I liked this one as a song, though, like verse chorus, a lot better than any of the last ones, though, as verse chorus.
Okay, I did actually make a comment about the lyrics in here, so Hitch a Ride. This was very... Okay, this was slower and more mellow of a song compared to the stuff we've heard previously. It doesn't really start strong, and I was kind of... I won't lie, I was not really wanting to listen to the song at first. However, it does get a little bit better throughout, but the delivery of the song, something seems a little bit off for me. It wasn't all there. And the lyrics, I do think they were very solid lyrics. If you actually can understand them or if you read them, I do think they're very well written, at least for this, album for Boston. And there was a solid minute 40 guitar solo at the end of the song to wrap everything up. So props to Tom or whatever. Next.
Okay, so this next song is called Something About You. There's distorted power chords in this that almost makes this feel like a 90s punk song to me. I was really bored, though. This one wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it is. And like I said earlier, same complaint that I'm going to have till the end of the album. I really don't have much to say.
Right, so this basically has the same groove as More Than a Feeling in the beginning. This album is starting to lose the freshness that it first presented us. And I know Brad, that's his name, the lead singer, and I know he can sing lower notes because he presents this briefly in this song. And I really wish he would explore more of that because I'm tired of the higher 70s, 80s vocals that comes out. Oh my gosh.
I wanted to comment on that, but I didn't know how to word it.
Yeah, it basically just overrides everything that's going on behind him. And it just doesn't complement anything well. And
also, if you do it enough, it's cheesy. Like, it almost feels cheesy. Like, it's like the same tropes over and over.
Why I'm dreading Van Halen's album on here, because I don't...
Yeah.
First off, I hate the song Jump. Hate that song, and that is on that album that we have to listen to. So I'm really dreading that already, but that's just how they all sound. Robert Plant has the same sound, but he doesn't override it how this does. Whatever, we can move on.
Okay. This next song is called Let Me Take You Home Tonight. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to give you a lot of information about the song, but right now I'm making a vow, and it starts on this song. Mm-hmm. I'm done repeating myself on this podcast. I'm done.
We do it quite often.
Right here, tapping the table. I'm done repeating myself on this podcast. Refer to Exhibit 4 damn songs ago. I can't even remember what it was called. When I said I'm not going to damn say it again. That's how I feel about this song. They say Let Me Take You Home Tonight like 20 times at the end in a row. I'm not feeling it. An album has not made me do this in a while, Boston.
Heard it here first. Nate hates Boston.
Hey,
let's get that.
I did not say that.
Let's get that.
I did not say that. Have you seen the picture today, though?
What is that?
Massachusetts.
I had no part in that.
Oh, I had full part in that, and I'll totally take part in it. Y'all eat English muffins. What are you doing? Continue.
All right. So I guess for the end of this album, the song does make a lot of sense, but it's not a strong ending, which is disappointing to say the least. I'm over the organ at this point because they used it too frequently and too, up front to really bring it out as a secret weapon or as a special instrument that's not featured a lot in rock. So yeah, that sucked. Tom, he's the guitarist. He also produced this. He also wrote, I'm pretty sure, every single song on this album. He's a very talented guitarist, but man, there are a lot of solos that sound very, not like the same, but very related, which I guess makes sense because it's all on one singular album, so everything's going to sound similar. But it's just like, okay, we get it, He's a guitarist, but I'm going to say the reason I think that they do that is because it's the most powerful / talented part of this album. So maybe that's why they put him, forward so much in his guitar pieces, because everything else is just mediocrity.
Mediocrity, that's a good way to put this up.
Thank you. But the very end of the song partially recovers by the chorus, and people are like singing/chanting, you know. It's like a choir almost, and they're just singing the title over and over again, and the instrumentals get heavier and a lot louder and stuff like that. But honestly, it wasn't the ending I was really looking for.
Yeah, there was just a big sound collage of just in your face towards the end, and I wasn't feeling that.
It was just a cluster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cluster F word. Cluster fart.
Cluster F word. You hear me? So yeah, final thoughts on this album.
This album was mediocre. This album wasn't necessarily bad. I didn't hate myself listening to it. I could have head bopped to these songs.
Not like you, Creed. Woo!
Yes, it's not like you, Creed. Creed, you're down at 92, baby. But
Dang.
Yeah, this album was just mediocre. Honestly, it might be in like my 50s, my 60s, down there. I'm just...
It threw you off the cliff.
I don't know why you're up here, Boston.
Sorry, Boston.
I don't know why you're up here.
Well, okay.
Wait, but let me just check real quick. They ain't on this list again. And I damn for sure could tell why. Shit.
Okay, you need to stay over there for a minute. I won't lie, when I did see Boston on this list, I was ready to absolutely just dog this. Because the only song that I'd heard over and over again was More Than Feeling, and I was like, if this is what Boston is, then I don't want it. Basically, same way with Jump by Van Halen. I'm not gonna lie, but I was kind of surprised. It's nothing revolutionary, you know, but I guess in 1976, and I guess kind of now, it is relatively killer in some ways.
You do have to put yourself in that time period.
That's
like what else like this was. Not what else, but how often was stuff like this coming out in 1976? Like,
right.
This was relatively fresh.
Because if I hadn't read that it was 76, I would have put it in like the late 70s, early 80s, probably.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a little bit before its time, but again, I also wasn't alive in 76, or, you know, like, so I really don't know what it was like.
You know, and it's not my job to empathize with you people that were alive
you were gonna say,
in 1976.
You were going to say, and it's not my job to know about music.
Okay, it's not my job to know about this album, okay? I don't give a damn that I am out here listening.
Technically, this isn't a job.
Listening to all this. I don't need to know anything, all right? I've been sitting here spewing garbage out of my mouth for 56 going on 57 episodes, okay?
This is 57, I think. That's
Consume the garbage.
Anyway, so I would not listen to Boston regularly. Yeah, there are a few songs that I might throw in every now and then and be like,
Facts.
oh yeah, that's a pretty
Why
good
is
song.
Bill Withers not on this list? Sorry. Just the two of us. Lean on me. We are not strong.
Okay, please let me wrap this up.
I'll be your friend.
And I probably wouldn't recommend this to a lot of people either, but Billboard really amped it up. Like, if you read the description on that list, on their Diamond album list, they really talked highly of Boston. Okay.
I was agreeing.
But I think it does need to be knocked down a peg. I'm going to say solid 50s right now, and we'll get to that point later.
So, the social medias, the Twitter, TDM Pod, TDM POD, the Instagram, the Diamond Mine Podcast, the YouTube for our face and stuff, the Diamond Mine. If you look up Diamond Mine Podcast, we should be the first thing that pops up. Follow us, like us, find my email, message, do all the stuff, share it with your friends, share it with your mom, share it with your dog, share it with Montana, share it with just about everybody. Unless you don't want to, which that's also okay. I don't get why you wouldn't. Like, this is the best podcast known to man. But anyways,
facts.
This has been the Diamond Mine Podcast. We'll be back at you next week with Taylor Swift.